Hey guys, come on in. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Galaxy Fire, hey, how you doing? Kim, hey, how you doing? Happy Thursday, people. Happy Thursday. Teresa, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Kim, thank you for your answer on that question. I'm always looking for a real answer, for an honest answer. So thank you for your answer on that question. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Cool BJ, hey, how you doing? For those of you, I'm pretty sure it's 10 people in here, so y'all know who I am, but I am Carolina Diamond, Dr. Rogers. I'm gonna do a little weekly update. I'm just checking in. I been seeing a couple things. So I really wanted to come in and do what we call a reality check on some things because the truth is welcome. The truth is always welcome. And let me do a check really quick. Let me check my channel to make sure this thing coming out the way it's supposed to come out. Okay. Yeah, definitely appreciate the honesty on that. I mean, it's always welcome. So, I had a couple people hit me up about something, something that I put in someone else's chat. They asked me if that was real. Teresa, thank you. I'm in the midst of some chops, so I just got my hair cut again. And we're gonna see how this goes, and maybe I'll stop here, maybe I won't. But we'll see. But yeah, I said some things, and some people hit me up wanting to know if something was true. So I decided to speak on it briefly, since I actually mentioned it in someone's chat, because it was something that that affected me deeply. I feel like I am I can touch on that. I can touch on it quick and go about my business without getting involved. Um, and the stuff that may be going on. So reality check. And I just want to do this really quick, y'all. We're going to school tonight. So when we talk about reality checks, I just want to give y'all so we all on the same page about these checks. I want to go into this thing really quick. Now, y'all know that I was a teacher for a long time. So if you feel like you're in class, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna do this real quick. So let me see. I'm just gonna share this real quick before we go into what we're going into. So when we talk about a reality check, before I get into this whole thing, what I'm working off of is and let me see if I can get this in the right place. Something that clarifies or serves as a reminder of reality, often by correcting a misconception. Something that clarifies or serves as a reminder of reality by correcting a misconception. The misconception that I am seeing right now is that a lot of people just because some things aren't out like in the YouTube streets right now, that doesn't mean that they did not happen. So in my particular case, without going into it too much, Lavelle, hey, how you doing? Without going into it too much, definitely having a positive and very productive day. They work me like a slave. I ain't gonna lie. They work me like a slave. But last year, you guys all know that I had to move to Atlanta for my job. And when I got here last year, God, was that last year? Year before last. I've been here for 2 years, y'all, over 2 years. The year before last, right after my brother had passed, my nephew had passed, my brother's wife ended up passing a few months after he passed. During that time, anyway, I experienced a situation where I was doxxed. I mean, that it is what it is. I was doxxed. And it came to me because my family was up on the screen. My brother was up there. And that's the people that said something to me. That's what they were the most concerned about because my brother was going through his journey, I took my subscribers on the journey as well, not knowing that that's how the journey was going to end up. We had no idea that it was going to be headed in that direction, but that had happened, and they contacted me because they saw my brother. They saw my brother's picture. So yeah, without putting the person's name out there, she know who she is. And the people that were around during that time, they know what happened. And the funny thing is, and this is why I say whenever there's some drama involved and stuff, that's when you get a lot of people to come out. Because even when I was doing more of the arcade stuff, in a live, I may have 50, 60, may get up to 100 in the live in my lives. But for the most part, never really got over that 100 mark. I kind of stayed in that area, maybe 120, 130 at the most. And when that happened that particular day, and like I said, for those who have been around for a while and they aren't new to this, I mean, it was a big thing. So we had 5, 6, maybe 700 people in that chat that night. So a lot of people saw what happened. And not only was my brother up there, my sister, her husband, some of the kids that I work with in my youth program, their pictures were posted. It was just a lot. It was definitely a lot. They went and they found my house. They had pictures of my house, and it was a lot. It was a lot. So the reality of it all is I'm seeing a lot of stuff going back and forth, and people, I really don't think that people are being realistic about everything that is going on and things that have gone on. And we tend to be selective about the things that we want to remember, and we tend to be selective about the things that we want to be outraged about. Again, we go back into that selective outrage that we have been talking about for a while. So, and that particular situation, it was some bloggers working together. They are no longer friends now, but it was some bloggers working together, and they were pulling information on a lot of people. I wasn't the only one that had information pulled, but I guess that blogger felt like it was my day for me to know that all that information was being pulled on me and my family. And there was a folder, there was an entire folder with my family and my information in it. Information about my ex-husband. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot of information. It also contained messages that the bloggers, they're bloggers now, they weren't bloggers then, that the other bloggers, like they were really out to get my information. They were really, I don't know what the end result of it was supposed to be. But when I see stuff now, it bothers me a little bit because I don't feel like people are really being realistic about things that have taken place, and people actually showing who they truly are. And like I said, I'm not going to get into all the back and forth and calling people, that's not my thing. But if you guys know me by now, I will speak the truth on some things that happen. And in this particular case, it was a blogger that a lot of people like, that did dox me. They were responsible for it. They said that they didn't do it. They blamed it on the other person, on the actor, that it was all him. I'm asking because I'm looking at a picture of my house on the screen, and I'm asking, what was the reason for that? Why did you do that? And she told me that she did not do it, that she had nothing to do with it, not realizing that the picture that was put up on the screen by the actor actually showed her face in the reflection of the computer screen from where she was taking a picture of my house. So I let her explain, because she called me or texted me, was sending me messages while I was on the live saying that she didn't have anything to do with it. And when I pointed out that her face was on the screen, that I could see her in the picture in her computer screen, then things started to change a little bit. The conversation changed a little bit. And my thing was, again, regardless of, because me and this person never, I knew she didn't care for me. Why, I don't know, because we never had any type of negative exchange. It was just the fact that she was friends with another blogger that had an issue with me. But my thing was, we're all of a certain age, and some things it just wasn't called for. I think one of the things that bothered me about it is they tried to, they looked for stuff on my job and all, stuff like that. And the thing is, with my job, you can go and look, but you dig too deep, you're going to find yourself in a mess. And I think what bothered me with that is, the people that know me know that I work for the federal government, but the person that was looking me up at that particular time, I don't know if she still does, but she worked for the feds as well. And that's not something that I went out there blurting out and putting all out on the streets, because I'm sitting up there and I'm like, and people were upset because they saw, people were upset in the chat about what happened, because they knew that it wasn't right, but they didn't understand, like, because at that particular time, I really didn't get to go into why I was responding the way that I was responding, which I really didn't. I mean, I teared up because I was so mad. Yeah, Jesus had to work on me that night. He had to work on my family. And the thing was that a lot of people don't think about, and I don't think the young ladies that were involved in it, as well as the guy that was involved in it, maybe they don't care, I don't know. But it disrupted a lot of things. It put my family in jeopardy. It put me in jeopardy, and I'm the last person that I was worried about in that particular situation. But it put my family in jeopardy. There are just certain things, like they didn't know the extent of what they had done whenever they put that information out. For them, it was all fun and games, and they wanted to know. Honestly, they wanted to know if because they called me. It was a lot of people calling me, and they had some other people call me, and well, they want to talk whatever. But they were trying to find out some stuff about my job, and I'm like, why are you concerned about my job? You know, and I they wanted to know if I worked for the FBI. And the funny thing about it was, the guy that they were friends with and that they were doing all this stuff with, he knew exactly where I worked at. The people, the person that everybody was fighting for, the person that everybody was doing rallies and all that stuff for, him and everybody around him knew exactly where I worked at from before they even met me. So it bothered me because it wasn't something that he or the people around him sent any of them to do. This was just something that they felt the need to go and do, and it was completely uncalled for. It was completely unnecessary. And I pretty much, I think I text the person. I'm like, is there anything else I need to know? If this is it, I'm going to leave it alone. If I find out something else, like if something else comes out, we're going to have a problem. And I was told that was it. I promise that's it. And I'm at that particular time, I'm thinking like, your promises really don't mean that much because you just lied to me about this information when I'm looking at your face on the screen right here. So the reality of it all, I don't know. I don't know. In this particular case, and I'm feeling pulled in one direction. This was a situation that I had to deal with Sylvia and Dana. It was actually Sylvia, Dana, and Randa, but more so Sylvia in the situation. Like I said, we never exchanged any bad words. I knew that she didn't care for me for whatever reason. We like met and actually had conversation maybe once. And Chicago, she took us back to the airport from the gym when where RK was playing ball when we were there, and we had to get back to the airport to catch our flight. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know where the animosity came from. I don't know where the hate came from. I don't know where any of that came from. All I know is that when I saw my brother's picture up on that screen, and it would have been one thing if it was done before the stuff happened with my brother. But the picture that was put up there was a picture that I posted, a picture that I made after my brother's passing. So for me, that was very personal, especially when it was coming from a person or people that I never did anything to. I make it a point, especially out here, the only person I really had another back and forth with, and that was more so on a professional level about just being honest, was the other doc. Other than that, I never really did the back and forth stuff. So whenever it came down to that, that was a little different. That was a little different for me. And understanding that for me, one thing that I don't hide from the minute I got this channel, one thing I don't hide is the fact that I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian before anything. So I'm going to go and handle situations in a different manner. And I had a lot of people telling me I need to go and do this, or I should go and do that, or I need to, and I didn't do those because I didn't feel led to do those. And for me, you know, two wrongs don't make a right. But it hurt. And I would lie. I would be lying to you to this day if I told you that it didn't. For somebody to have that much, to me, I'm going to call it how I saw it. For somebody to have that much evil in them, for them to go and look up my brother's stuff and be pulling pictures of my brother and his family, and then my sister and her family, just everybody that they could possibly get their hands on, and my family, and they're doing these messages, oh yeah, we got her. And I mean, it was a game, but they were playing a game with my life. And as I said, I wasn't the only one. But this particular day, I guess that day was my day. So just realistically, when I hear people talking and they want to pick and choose, they want to see the good here, and as long as, you know, people are focusing on this, the good with this, they want to overlook other things. But when it comes to other people that they don't really deal with, then they can see all the negative and think that everything is negative with those people. But whenever something is staring you right in the face, you want to overlook that. I'm saying something about this because I never got a formal apology. There were things and messages that were sent to me behind the scenes. And I've been nice. I've spoken in chats because I mean, I don't harbor any ill will towards anybody. But again, if I sat on there and act like it didn't happen, then I would be lying to you. I would be absolutely telling you a bald-faced lie. And to this day, it bothers me that somebody that holds themselves, that we're supposed to be sisters, if not because we sisters, but sisters in Christ, that you or anybody will be willing, have the wherewithal, have the unmitigated gall to go and do something like that and think that it's okay, and then walk by like nothing happened. I could look at it from a psychological level, and I tried many times, and that's probably the one thing that helped me get past that whole situation. But reality check. Texas Black, how you doing, lady? Mano King, hey. Demetra, hey. If I'm being realistic and really doing a reality check, though, that happened. There's nothing that can change that. And what I think one of the things for me, and that's why I try to stay away from certain things, because to me it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And the video, I'm pretty sure somebody went and saved it somewhere, but I ended up putting the video on private. Now, I spoke a little bit about it the next day once I calmed down, because I could not calm myself down that day. That night, I could not calm myself down, because I could not believe that somebody would go that far knowing how I felt about my brother. This wasn't even about me knowing how I felt about my brother. I could not believe that somebody would have that much hate and that much disdain in them, that they would want to come at another person like that they didn't know, someone that never did anything to them. I just could not believe. So to me, I look at that a little bit different, because there's still the forgiveness was definitely there, but I don't think I ever forget that, because I've had people come at me. I've had to deal with people on my job. I've had to deal with dangerous people. I deal with dangerous people on a day-to-day basis. I've never had anybody come at me personally like that, not with my family and show complete disregard and complete disrespect to my family, especially to my brother. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter how professional or how Christian I am when it comes to my siblings, especially my brothers, because I got two. Doctor go all the way out the door. And that's just me being real with you. So that was on a completely different level because it took me to a place that people didn't need to see on YouTube. But again, for the people that were there, boom, boom, hey, how you doing? For the people that were there and got to witness it, they actually saw, because that was real emotion. That was raw. That was reality. That was uncut. And even with that, I remember Larry had went back and said something on his channel saying that I was ghetto. And he didn't like the way that I responded. And this isn't anything towards him because I addressed him about it myself. But I just want people to understand, until you've been in that situation, people think that stuff is funny until you've been in that situation. And especially when somebody comes after you and your family personally. And at the same time, is saying how much they love God. Now, I'm going to say this. I can only be honest. God ain't have nothing to do with that. The only place that God was at was in my house that night and kept me from getting in my vehicle. That's the only place God was at that night. And I thank him for it. I thank him for it. Because at that particular point, all bets were off. All bets were off. So this was just, that was just my thing. Like I said, I'm not saying, like I said, the actual video from that night, I took that video down because, number one, it was embarrassing, and I didn't want anybody from my family, because I literally had to contact my family and put them on alert that people were looking for them and pulling them up. I literally had to call the security at the place that my sister stayed at and make sure that they had their stuff straight at the gate, just in case somebody tried to come there. That's how serious this stuff was for me. It was child's play for them, and that's how serious it was for me. So what I'm going to do, I will not go and show any parts of that video that night because I know it'll put me in a bad space. But the next night, once I was able to gather my thoughts, I did a quick live just talking about the doxing thing and how it was affecting me at that particular time and that particular moment. So I'm just going to play a small portion of that. And again, it's not bashing. I don't even know if I mentioned anybody's name on there, because at that point, just about everybody was in the chat when the stuff happened. So anybody that wants to dispute anything that I'm saying, most of the people that are probably in here today were probably in that chat that night. So it's even people that didn't care for me acknowledged that it was wrong. It was just wrong. There's no other way. It was just wrong. It was wrong. And the only explanation that I had was that, we wanted to see who you work for. And the people in the chat, the live, actually heard me talking to her on the phone. I'm like, you could have asked me that yourself. You going and digging up all this stuff and putting my mess out there. You could have asked me that yourself. I don't have anything to hide. You want to know where I work at? You should have asked me where I worked at. If you want to know where I stay, if you want to know how much I was paying for my mortgage, like whatever, you could have asked me that. But when I look on the screen and I see my whole house up there on my front porch, I even saw my mailbox. That was a problem. That was a problem, especially when I have, at that particular time, my stepson, my god kids, my kids that I call my kids that aren't my blood kids. All these people are here with me a lot. This is their safe haven, and other people going pulling that information up. How do I know that the intentions were already ill, but how do I know that they weren't going to go any further than that? How do I know that to this day? So I'm going to do this really quick. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. But just to give you guys, just so you could see where my head was at that time. So you can see this was not something that was small. It may have been small to the people that did it. But for me and my family and my job, it wasn't anything small. It wasn't anything small. So, let's see. Let me see which one is showing. Okay. And I'm going to leave this like this with the chat and stuff up here so you guys can see how serious this was, y'all. It wasn't anything small. It wasn't anything small. And like I said, I don't know how. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. People have a lot of opinions about how I should handle something or what I should or shouldn't respond to. It's not even about the people that were involved. That's not even a thing for me. Because people do what people do. But if you never lost one of your siblings or anyone that actually sat there and had to watch them die, you literally watched them die. And I know that my brother doesn't know any of these people on YouTube. And the fact that the people that are on my channel, the subscribers on my channel, I took my subscribers with me. They were in the hospital with me and my brother. So, contrary to what people may think, it's not who did it and who I need to be forgiven and all that stuff. Whether or not I forgive, when I forgive, that's nobody else's call but mine. Nobody. How I handle something, that's my call. Because I don't do the games. I'm not going to put out anybody's information about their family. That's not how I operate. That's just not what I do. So I'm very surprised to look up at the screen. Thank you. To look up at the screen to see my brother on there. And there's nothing that anybody can do to change what I felt when I saw my brother on that screen. My brother who these people don't know. And bigger than that, I go to work every day and put my life in jeopardy every day. Whether I'm on Facebook, whether I'm on YouTube, wherever I'm at, whatever names, whatever I put up there, whatever I put, that's for me to have some type of privacy and protection because of the line of work that I do. And again, that's something that some people are not going to understand. Hey, Iris. When you work in a position where you can get hurt at any time, trying to do the right thing, but you still want to be able to participate on social media and do what other people are doing. And to have people go and put your information out there I need y'all to understand something. This wasn't about somebody putting my family out. Y'all put my life in jeopardy. The people that I come in contact with, the people that I have some kind of, well, at least they didn't know my name. At least they didn't know my whole name. At least they don't know where I stay. That's what it's about. So telling me how to deal with stuff, that's not, no. And the fact that my brother and my other brother, those are my protectors. So the one that got put up there, if one of these people that I've had to come across in my path ever found me somewhere, my brothers are my protectors. The same one that was put up on that screen and his YouTube stuff. And this is not to rehash. It's not to rehash anything. Because I'm not going to go back to yesterday because that had me in a bad place. And I'm still sitting up here with no sleep since yesterday because it had me in a bad place. Very bad. I come on YouTube to put information out. Try to make people feel good whenever I can. Try to give back to people. That's what I do. I'm not mixed up in anything else. I'm not a street chick, so I don't operate by the codes of the street. I operate by the codes of the law. So that may make me a little off or whatever because I don't do things the way that people think that I should do them, or I don't handle them quick enough, or what, however I handle it, it's not street enough. But that's the way that I choose to do things. My steps are always ordered. And anybody that thinks that I was ratchet, even as much as I was hurting last night, didn't hear me say anything foul towards anybody. The people that did that, you didn't hear me say one foul thing. So if that's being ratchet, I'll be ratchet. If that's not having integrity, Mr. Larry, then that's okay. I'll walk that walk. I will walk that walk. But this stuff needs to stop. It needs to stop. Because if somebody ends up getting hurt, somebody's family ends up getting ran up on, somebody ends up in jail or prison, then everybody's going to be looking around crazy saying that, oh, you were wrong for that. It's just YouTube. This is not just YouTube. This is still somebody's life. It's still somebody's life. And we're like under the we feel like we got to come on YouTube like, oh, it's a fight. I didn't come on YouTube to fight. I have to fight every day. I don't come on YouTube to fight. So that may be other people's fight, but that's not my fight. That is not my fight. It's just not. Not what I came out here for. And anybody that does not understand that, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Because in one of my darkest hours yesterday, you still did not see me disrespect anybody. So please don't try to tell me how to conduct or handle myself. Unless it's your brother that's out. Your brother's wife. your spouse, your sister, her husband. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. If you handle yourself a certain way, it's just some things you don't expect people to do, and that's just it. And I've been with some of the worst, and I never had anybody come at me like that. So yeah, I was feeling some type of way. Still feeling some type of way. I don't hate anybody that's involved. That's all I'm saying. I don't hate anybody that's involved. But a thank you doesn't make that go away. And what people don't understand, I don't hold any grudges against anybody. So whoever's watching, I don't hold any grudges. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. It's not. But for me, because I want to make sure I'm speaking for myself, I don't like for other people to speak for me. It doesn't matter when it was done. It doesn't matter what pretenses it was done under. It doesn't matter, and I'm going to say his name. I don't usually say his name on here. It doesn't matter if Dana dropped the stuff or anybody else dropped it. My information should have never been pulled, period. And anybody saying, oh, well, they were this because of this and this. No, everybody has their own mind. Everybody makes their own decisions. And everybody's accountable for their own actions. Because surely if somebody told you to jump off a bridge, then you're not going to go and jump off a bridge. So we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. No. Mm-mm. When I sit back and I just started thinking about stuff, the information has been out, whatever y'all have. And I also heard him say that that's just a small part. There's a whole file. So when I hear somebody say, oh, well, they apologized to you, they had already apologized to you, it's one thing for you to apologize. But see, the thing is, you know what you're apologizing for. I don't know what you're apologizing for. But as an adult, if you know that you went and did something and I don't know about it, and you're trying to make amends, then that's something that you need to let me know. Don't you think? Now, I know my information was shared amongst 4 people, but I know it was shared with other people too. Because call some other blogger coming out and trying to put information about me, and I just didn't pay her any attention because she wanted people to know that she knew my name and knew who I was, and it all made sense. It all makes sense. So the motive behind it, even though that may not have been your motive on yesterday, the motive behind it was malicious. There's no denying that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I hope if you're being honest with yourself, I just hope you're being honest with yourself. Yeah. So I just had a few things cross in my mind, and I'm not being ugly. I'm just telling you what I think, because I need y'all to understand where I'm at right now. Right, Pico. This is where I'm at. I had people tell me that they didn't know that my brother was deceased. But when you go on my page and my brother's page, one of the first things that you see on there is something that I did for him in memory of him. So there's no way for you to not know that he was deceased. So I can't buy that. I can't buy that. The people that knew me on YouTube knew that my brother had passed. Yeah. So I'm going to stop that right there, because I just wanted you guys to see that a lot of people play with this stuff, and a lot of people walk around like things didn't happen. But for me, this was real. This was real. So when I talk about reality checks, and this is not to try to come at anybody, but I know a lot of people, these things have gone on for so long that a lot of people don't know 30%. They might not even know 25% of all the things that have happened up to this point, and why so many of us have backed away, and why so many of us don't deal with certain people, and we stay in our own lane, and we just don't. This is one of the reasons, because a lot of things like this had happened. What's going on, Pat? How you doing? A lot of these things had happened. And like I said, for a lot of people, for somebody that's looking at it, it may not mean anything, but I know the night that stuff happened, I felt it from the people in the chat. Like, they knew how wrong that was. And I know at that particular time, that person had just started her channel when that came out. So I think people on her channel telling her to come and apologize, and they were like saying stuff that was going on my channel, and it wasn't even about that for me, because at that point, honestly, I didn't care anything about an apology, because for me, an apology is for the person that actually did something wrong. They're apologizing to make themselves feel better. Those words will never make you feel better. Sometimes it's just about the gesture. Okay, but at least they took the initiative to go and apologize. But along with that is not just apologizing, but actually fessing up to the actions that actually took place. And like really acknowledging how serious that is, and how serious it was for people. Because I know for me, that aha moment, that moment of epiphany, that moment that did it for me. And I'm like, you know what? When I hear you telling me that you didn't do this, but I'm looking at a picture of my house and I can see your face in the picture, the reflection, like that did it for me. When I'm sitting up here trying to be forgiving and trying to be understanding, and I'm looking at the truth, but I'm seeing you tell me the lie on the text. And I'm just sitting here, and I'm still trying to remain godly in the whole situation while all the stuff was going on. But mentally, I I had all kind of stuff going on. Now, at that particular time, I really did have some cognitive dissonance going on because I had thoughts coming out of both sides of my head, and none of them were good. None of them. And I thank God that He gave me some peace with that to even be able to say something about it to this day. But I do believe that as children of God, that we are able to call each other out, and that we should call each other out and put each other out on that front porch whenever we know that something is done that's not right. Especially when it's something that has been done to you. I don't know if things stopped with that. I don't know, but I know that up until that point, a lot of dirty, 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 a lot of dirty, deceitful, just a lot of mess had been done. And for people that would be like in different chats, they saw it. They didn't want to acknowledge it, or a lot of them thought it was funny. They laughed at it, but they saw it. And so we can't act like we got amnesia now. We got selective amnesia now because you're not being honest with yourself. That's not reality. Not saying that people cannot change. Let me be clear on that. But we're not going to go and act like stuff didn't happen. And the thing I say with that is when we see other people do stuff, we are quick to call out what other people are doing, but you completely overlooking this thing. You acting like this didn't happen. We walking around like we got a bunch of saints on here. None of us are saints, myself included. None of us are saints. None. But we all have to be true to who we are. That's the reality of it all. We have to be true to who we are. So if you're walking that walk, then walk that walk. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. If you're serving somebody else, then be straight up about who you're serving. You see what I'm saying? Just like if you work for the federal government, just like I work for the federal government, then don't go and try to put me out here if you're not putting yourself out here. Because one thing I never did was hide what I do. Never have. I've done a lot in my career and I'm proud of it. I've helped a lot of people in my career and I'm proud of it. And I'm going to continue to help people. That's what I got into it for. So that I could be able to help my people, not just Black folks, folks in general, because all people are my people. That's what I got in it for. I didn't get in it and go and play these BS games with people on YouTube. My fight is for real. That's why our fights aren't the same. I'm not going to get up here and go chasing after people and trying to get this person locked up for this and go. I'm not doing all that. That's not what responsible folks do. And if I'm stepping on anybody's toes, I'm not going to apologize for this at this particular time because I mean what I say. That's not what I came on here for. That's not what I'm on here for this day. And yes, I get ridiculed for it, and it will be okay. People talked about me ever since I was a child. They're going to continue to talk. And just like my mom always told me, they talked about Jesus. What make you any different? Amen. But in the midst of all that, there has to be some type of self-awareness. There has to be some type of accountability. There has to be. And that's what a lot of people are lacking, not just on YouTube, in life in general. People do not want to be held accountable for their actions. People do not even held accountable by other people. You don't want to hold yourself accountable for your actions. You have to stop and ask yourself, why did I do this? I see people coming after people on YouTube every day that they do not know, never met, probably will never meet, and they go after these people so hard. Are you asking yourself why? These people don't know you. You don't know them. Why are you going after them so hard? What are you getting out of it? Is it making you sleep better at night? Is it making your belly full when you're hungry? When you feel a need to be inspired, is it your inspiration? Because if so, that's a problem. That's a problem. And you have to understand that at the end of the day, people can play with this stuff all they want to, but you look at the situation with Tasha K. Look at the situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard with this defamation case right now. People are not playing. They are not playing when it comes to their life, their livelihood. People are sick and tired of folks going around doing this buffet. Because this is a mess. And there's nothing that can justify any of it. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you're rooting for Jim, Paul, Joe. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for. There is no reason for a lot of the mess that has been going on. There's no reason for it. It is so uncalled for and so unnecessary. People are sitting on the outside looking at us like we a bunch of darn fools. Look at these fools over here today. I've seen it. I saw people, I sat and watched folks on other channels sit there and make jokes about all the stuff that they were seeing over here. And guess what? They were dead on it. Everything they said was correct. True story. Stand up, be kind of, hey, how you doing? I had somebody about a lot of money because of the BS I have OCD. Did a lot to me thinking people trying to put me in jail. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. To even have to go and explain to people about some of this mess that's going on. See, that's I had to explain some stuff to my family just to make sure that, because we are all about this situational awareness, but to make sure that they were aware of their surroundings at all times, just in case somebody really tried to follow up on some of this foolishness. Case, y'all, we got to stop. We got to stop. We got to stop. Just like somebody running up on these sisters trying to fight them while they're at court. I'm going to say it. I don't give a flip about nobody getting upset about that. Whatever. What you think going to happen if you touch them? You see what I'm saying? When I see them, I'm going, what you think going to happen? I mean, really. When you see that, and not just them, when you see this person, you're going to go up to them and you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You're going to do what you think is going to happen. And then everybody's going to be sitting on YouTube with this same foolishness. Oh, they're going to sit on here with this same fool. They were wrong. It was just a YouTube beat. They didn't have to get them locked up, or they didn't have to hit them back. Then you got that foolishness. And I'm sitting up here looking at these chats like I done seen it all. Why weren't you talking to the person that was doing all this foolishness before it got to that point? Why are people sitting around just letting people act the darn donkey? And a lot of them are paying for it. They are literally paying people to act the donkey. Oh my God. Oh, you're the best. You're the greatest. Here, let me send you something. For foolishness. Some people ain't even getting their bills paid because YouTube has become a bill. You paying people on YouTube before you even make sure you got your bills paid at your own darn house. How much sense does that make? This is a reality check. How much sense does that make? How much sense does it make to go and start digging up all this stuff on other people when you know you still got a lot of junk in your closet? You hadn't cleaned your closets out. How much sense does it make to go and pick at people about certain things when you're not perfect? None of us are. But we'll and pick at this person for this and pick at this person for that. Like, really? And then the moment somebody come and pick at you about something, now you're all up in your feelings because they shouldn't have went that far. It shouldn't have never happened in the first place. Well, most of the people that are in this particular sector, if you look at the demographics, they fall between 40 and 60 years old. That means that these people are good and darn grown, and they should know better. If I'm wrong, I welcome it. Tell me I'm wrong. It is sad because it's our people. It's our people. And to some people, like I said, YouTube is like this virtual reality. You might as well go and put on the shades. They're on this virtual reality ride, not realizing that there is a real person living on the other side of that ride who, if they keep up with the foolishness that they are just constantly partaking in, there are going to be consequences to their actions. Repercussions. And I still say this. If anybody sits here and you can like me or don't like me, people probably going to talk about me, probably preparing a live right now. If you can sit here and listen to this foolishness all day, every day, then you got a problem too. If this is what gets your heart pumping a little bit faster, then you got a problem too. If you can't wait to get on here so you can see, oh man, let me see what they got going on now. Like this, like a whole TV show for you. That's a problem. You should not want to dwell in foolishness 24/7. No. Now I'm going to throw this in here, and this is for whoever that catch it. You can't dwell in this foolishness all the time, and then you go and throw a little Jesus in it just to make it feel good to the folks, because you know there's some folks that still got a little God in them, so you got to make sure you throw God's name up in there every now and again, and this ain't towards one person because you see it a lot. You got to go and let me throw a little Jesus up in here so that people that think they want this. No. God don't support foolishness. He don't. Never has, never will. He does not support foolishness. He does not support mess. He don't. No ma'am, no Sam, no ham, no. Same here, Texas. Same here. That's too much fun. It's a man favorite tend to be not causing conflict and confusion amongst good people. I think the thing is, Texas, he working on all of us. He working on all you. You're not alone, child. You're not alone. I think the thing is, one of the key things is, and I really want people to get what I'm saying, because they talk about me talking in codes all the time. I talk like that because I know folks don't know how to act. And I already had people running, trying to go and tell this and go and tell that. So I don't have no other choice but to speak using John and Tom and Bob and Joe. Because some of y'all ain't going to do right. There it is. Okay. Now, Jesus, be offense. Listen. This is one conclusion that I have drawn from sitting back and observing all of this. I'm one of those people that recognizes that there are some spiritual battles going on. I'm also one of those people that recognizes that there is a lot of demonic stuff going on. And it's all up and through this sector. If it ain't you, then it shouldn't bother you. If you know what I'm talking about, then say amen. It's all up and through this sector. I have never been around so much evil. And I tell you, I work with the worst of the worst. And I don't feel the presence around them. Even somebody I know done took 15 people out. I have never felt this. What I feel when I come up in this, I have never felt that, even knowing that I got serial this and serial that I deal with on a regular basis. I never felt all the demonic activity that I feel when I walk into this. And these are people that are supposed to be supporters. Now, let me school you on something. We understand, for those who are believers, we know that God don't bless mess. So if you out here participating in messiness and foolishness, in the ongoing shenanigans, if you are participating in this mess, and then you going and you asking God to go and deliver something for you and all these other folks, but you are this only, oh, Lord have mercy. What kind of blessings are you looking for? You want him to step up into the midst of all of this demonic, and he will. Now, don't get me wrong. Lord knows he will. But you want him to go and step up in the midst of all this demonic behavior and go and try to fix something when the people that are asking for it got it. That's not how this works. And as long as all this foolishness is going on, there's going to be a problem. Now, you can quote me on that. You can go and say, Dr. Rogers said that. As long as all of this foolishness is going on. I mean, all kinds of debauchery. Yeah, we looking at stuff that you read about in the Bible. I'm seeing all kind of Sodom and Gomorrah and all kind of mess going on up in here. And then people would turn around the same day, that within the same sentence, put a little prayer on it and act like everything's going to be all right. I'm sorry. Don't pray for me. If that's what you're doing on the side, don't pray for me. I can deal without that support. Let me go ahead and see if my message can get up to them, because if it got to come with all that foolishness, keep that to yourself. So I would say in the midst of this, that a lot of people that want to see a different outcome, you're stifling any good that could come with an outcome, with all of the foolishness. And then to sit back and try, oh my God, what happened? I don't know what happened. They were so wrong for doing this and that. Are you looking at your behaviors in it? Are you looking at, is there any self-reflection going on? Is there any self-awareness? Are we doing any type of self-evaluations to see where we fall short in all of this? And don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, whatever's going on over there, that's good. That God gonna have to put his hands on that. His hands on that. Like the folks that are doing stuff on here, you really don't have a direct way to really change a situation, but you can bring negativity and you can bring evil to a situation. And there's just some things, there's so much devilment, like it is ridiculous. It's scary. It is scary. When you go into a situation and you got to walk away and ask God to pray for you, that whatever spirits were right there in that situation, that none of that gets into your system, that's some scary stuff. And I feel like a lot of people are allowing a lot of this evil to get in their systems. It's taking over. It has taken over, not taking, it has already taken over. Because when you get to the point where you don't recognize and cannot acknowledge right from wrong, that's a problem. And that takes me into something else that I also wanted to touch on is cognitive distortions. Now, I need y'all to follow me on this because y'all going to get the doc for a minute. There are a lot of people that are dealing with some serious cognitive distortions. And I've seen it today. I saw it yesterday. I saw it the day before yesterday. I see it every darn day. One cognitive distortion that I have seen, and understand that this is a mental health issue, is this all or nothing thinking. If people do not think the way that you think they should think, if they don't say things exactly the way that you think they should say them, if they don't go and just give all praises to whatever's going on, then you say, and I'm going to quote, they're either stragglers, they flipping, they switching, whatever words you want to use, that's cognitive distortion. If they either got to think one way or no way. That's not how life works. In life, there are gray areas. Everything is not simply black and white. And people are entitled to their own opinions. People are entitled to think one way, but then see something else and say, let me think about that. People are entitled to that. And you think that something is wrong with them. No, something is wrong with you if you feel like people have to think and say exactly what you want them to think and say. Something is wrong with you if you feel like people got to do exactly what you want them to do. Just because you said so. Who are you that anybody has to go and do whatever you tell them to do? Who are you to go and tell somebody that they're not right? Like, let me give y'all this real quick. As I told y'all, let me give y'all doc for a minute. Just 1 second. Just bear with me for a second. Just bear with me for a second. Let me give y'all this real quick. Because a lot of times people think I just be making stuff up. Sometimes I might. I don't know. But let me just share this with you for a minute. Let me put this on the screen real big. All right. Cognitive distortions, all or nothing thinking. Okay. A cognitive distortion is an assumption we make based on minimal evidence or without considering the evidence. There are numerous kinds of cognitive distortions, and all or nothing thinking is one of the most common. Know this. The more we rely on distortions like all or nothing thinking to make decisions or to interpret events, the worse we tend to feel. To feel better and develop a more grounded understanding of the world around us, it's important to recognize all or nothing thinking when it crops up and take steps to develop a more effective viewpoint. All or nothing thinking refers to you thinking in extremes. Your thinking is extreme. It has to be all this or nothing. You got to believe all of this or nothing. You stray and are straggling the fence. You are either a success or a failure. There's no in between. You can't just be doing all right. Your performance was either totally good or was totally bad. You couldn't, it wasn't okay. These people just, there's no in between. That is not life. That is not reality. It absolutely is not reality. So if we're being honest with ourselves, if we are truly being honest, one side want to talk about the other side, this side. Everybody got something to say about the other side. They doing this and they doing. You're doing the same darn thing. Now I said it. You're doing the same thing. There's nobody that is 100% bad. There's nobody that is 100% good. Period. I don't care what they tell you. Unless they can part the Red Sea, unless they can walk on water, unless they can turn bread into wine, nobody is 100% good. So there is no all or nothing. you can like me, but say, you know what, Dr. Ron is all right, but I ain't feeling what she's saying tonight, and that's fine. You can actually say, okay, I still rock with her, but I ain't rocking with what she's saying tonight, but she all right. Or you can say, I don't like Dr. Rogers, but what she said, okay, she was talking something tonight now. Yeah, I don't like it like that. I don't know why, but See, that's a middle ground. And that's what real people do. Realistically, that's what real people do. There is an in between. So if you sitting here and Lord have mercy, if you have that all or nothing thinking, that all or nothing thinking gonna get you taken advantage of a lot of days in a lot of situations. If it haven't happened already, then it is bound to happen. That's the makings of an occult. That's the makings of someone that is being taken advantage of and manipulated on a daily basis, because someone can get you to believe something and you so far gone that you won't question anything that is said. You won't question anything about it. You won't question anything you see. You will sit there and let somebody convince you that what you see is not what you actually see. Shoot, you will convince yourself that what you saw is not what you actually saw. You saw it with your own eyes. But because of this all or nothing thinking, this buffet that people are participating in these YouTube streets and all over social media, they got people just running around here, running amok, letting other people lead them, letting other people just dictate their thoughts, dictate their words, dictate their actions. You are sitting around, you don't want to be submissive to this man and this man, but you're being submissive to people that you don't even know. Lord have mercy. Give me strength. Right, man. I don't like what you saying, but you all right. And that's cool. You see what I'm saying? That's real. That's real. Kim Tucker. I don't know if she's still in here. I put a survey in on the community chat, and I asked which category do you fall in? And I intentionally wrote those the way that I wrote them. And she gave me an honest answer. She said, okay, it depends on the situation. That lets me know off the rip that is not all or nothing thinking, because she realized that in this situation I might be a little this way, and that situation I might come off a little this way. Like, I can't say it depends on what the situation is and who I'm dealing with. Like, I don't know, I might be a little negative sometimes. Like, there might be some in between there. Oh, Lord have mercy, help me, Lord. Y'all. Woo. Jesus be offense. Right, and that's it. Y'all, we don't have to agree with everything. That's actually healthy. That's the thing, it's healthy. What's unhealthy is the way that people go about doing things. And the sad thing on here is that most of the time when people disagree, it's not based on facts. People will sit there and call it facts. It's not based on facts. It's based on he say, she say, and what all of them said. It's not based on facts. And even when people go and try to pull facts, and a lot of people go and try and pull paperwork, the paperwork is misinterpreted. And nobody is bold enough to stand up and say, no, that's not what that meant. That's not what when they said that, that's not what they would say. Like, nobody wants to say that because nobody wants to have to deal with any type of repercussions that may come from them disagreeing with whoever their leader is supposed to be. Nobody wants to deal with being ostracized by the group because they don't agree with the people that have the all or nothing thinking. How dare you go and try to have your own thoughts? Once again, how dare you go and try to act like this could be something else when we told you it's supposed to be this way, or our leader told you that it's supposed to be this way? How dare you go and try to have your own thinking? How dare you? Who gave you the authority to have your own thinking? Listen, I consulted with my darn self and I gave myself the authority to think the way that I want to think. I try to make sure my steps are ordered. I ain't trying to follow behind these people. These people will lead you straight to hell in a handbasket with gasoline draws on. Keep fooling up with them. Keep fooling up with them. And the thing is, listen, once again, nobody is perfect in anything that they do. But oh, Father, listen, Linda, listen. That walk speaks a whole lot louder than words. I can sit here and I can tell y'all about God all day, and I will. I can sit here and I can tell y'all about God all day and how much he has done for me. But if my walk ain't matching what I'm saying, then y'all got every right to come after me. Call me on it. I might not like what you said, but I'm like, hold up, wait a minute now. Hold up. They said that I did. Hold up now. Because I just had to do it. Well, not with that situation, but I just had to do it. Oh, Jesus. Jeffrey, hey, how you doing? Lisa Kennard, I'm glad you said that. As a matter of fact, let me throw this plug in there. Starting on May 1st, that's the end of this week, going into the next week, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. So let me go ahead and put that out there because a lot of us need to make sure that we get our mental health in check, okay? Because this stuff right here, this ain't where it's at. This just is not, it's not where it's at. And nobody is exempt. That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing people talk, oh, this side over here doing and this. No, nobody is exempt. I'm like, like, y'all ain't gonna like this. Y'all ain't gonna like this. Where are any grown people sitting around worried about what other people, grown people doing sexually in their bedroom, in his bedroom, in her bedroom, in their bedroom? Who did? Where is that anybody's business? Why is that even a thing? Why? The one thing that I have come, I'm sitting here and without getting into all of the stuff that's going on, but there's a young lady that somebody supposedly messed with, and she's supposed to mess with this person over here. Y'all know what? At the end of the day, this is some reality for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he did sleep with her, if he didn't sleep with her, if she did this to him, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to put something else on here that people might not like. Keep lying to folks and keep this. Oh, she was too ugly for this. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. Pardon my French, but I ain't the only one on here that know that coochie don't have a face. Don't do that. And stop putting people so high up on a pedestal that you'll say, oh, well, they would never do that. When you look at the other folks that they done fool with, don't do that. Don't do that. Because somebody may look at you and be like, well, such and such will never deal with you. Because they may not think you that hot. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear people saying stuff like that, or no, I know he ain't mess with them because you don't know Jack or Jill or the hill that they rolled down on. Like, you don't know. Stop acting like we know what's going on in people's bedrooms. Stop acting like we know what's going on in people's houses. You don't. You barely know what's going on in your house. You might need to walk through now and start doing a room check and see what's going on in your house right now. This is a bunch of foolishness. It is ridiculous. Now I'm going to tag another one on that. Oh my Jesus. Reality check. Reality check. How are you going to go and criticize somebody else that's in some legal trouble and overlook other people that's in legal trouble? At the end of the day, if it's illegal, it's darn it illegal. It doesn't matter who did it or who's being accused of doing it. Because in the eyes of God, this sin ain't no greater than this one. So why in the world we still sitting up here with this foolishness? Or somebody asking, well, why are you supporting this one? I could come back and ask you why you supporting who you supporting. Do you see what I'm saying? Why you ain't coming after this one? Why you didn't ask me why I didn't come after that one? Walking contradictions. Do you see what I'm just some walking contradictions? This is the reality of this whole situation. Some walking contradictions, and it happens all the way around. All the way around. And we want to throw God up in this. Y'all better leave that man alone, let him mind his business. Y'all better leave that man alone, let him mind his business. Because if he come up in here, all of them through here and start wreck shopping, we're going to have some major problems. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. We're going to have some major problems. Real talk. We're going to have some major problems. So I'm maybe I said too much. I don't know. But I tend to go wherever I feel like I'm led to go. And for me, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm tired of seeing grown folks act like children. I'm tired of seeing grown folks act like they don't have a lick of sense. Like certain things, like they can be the smartest people in the world, at least to hear them tell it. But when it comes to comprehension, like they don't comprehend too well because they don't understand that some of the same words that they're using and some of the same actions and behaviors that they're putting on other people, they don't realize that they're doing the same thing. They don't realize that they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Like they don't realize a lot of things that they're saying are actually oxymorons. Like they don't realize that. Can we we're gonna do something different or not? I'm just asking. I ain't even asking for a friend. I'm asking for myself. We're gonna do something different or not? Maybe. This is the only. No, it's not. Let me take that back. Because if I said it, that would be a lie. This is the only place I've seen it that much where our race love the devil more than God is. Yes, sure, shalom. Okay. Oh, our race love the devil more than God. Interesting. I mean, if you look at the behaviors right now, I mean, who can argue with it? Just saying, that'd be a tough debate if you just look at the behaviors. This is what the part that I need that book. I'm thinking for just everybody, like people. I remember people saying somebody needs to be a spokesperson and somebody needs to get out front. And my thing is, why don't you get your mind right and you do it? Why everybody else got to do it? See, that's one thing that always bothered me. People saying, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And what did you do? And they did. Like, you see people doing something. You don't like what they're doing and you got something to say about it. But what have you done? What are you doing? What are you willing to do? You got so much to say about what everybody else doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? And instead of telling other people like what they need to do so that they can get up front, get your butt up front. You want to be the spokesperson for justice, get your butt up front. And don't just get up there and be pretty. I mean, that's the easy job. Get your butt up front. Get out and be seen. Don't go hiding behind nobody's cameras. Don't go hiding behind no mask. Get yourself up front so people can see your face. They can see you front and center, and they can see what you're about. But the thing is, if you get up front, you better be prepared with what goes along with that, because you can't get up there and talk that talk if you're not walking that walk, because you will get called out on it expeditiously. And you can't get mad when it's the truth. I'm going to repeat that. You can't get mad when it's the truth. It's one thing for somebody to lie on you. You can't get mad when it's the truth. That's what's lacking in all of this. All the way around. You got people that are against something. It's kind of hard, and it looks foolish, actually, for people to get up and talk about how wrong this person is, or how wrong this group is, how all this stuff is wrong, when your stuff all jacked up. You fighting your own demons. Major demons. And then on the flip side, for, this group right here to say, no, y'all wrong, you shouldn't judge people based on this, and everybody deserves a chance, and blah, 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 blah. But you don't give people a chance. The minute somebody goes and says that this person said this or this person did that, then you know what? You run with it. And let me go on back. Where is this thing at? Oh, I done took it down. You go and just go with anything anybody tells you. People are too lazy to go and do their own investigations, to go and do that. It's not even about investigations. It's about going and doing your own research. If you want to know something, instead of sitting there, I don't care if just like what I spoke about tonight, the situation that happened with me. If you think I'm lying, go ask. If they tell you I'm lying, then it is what it is. But the truth stands for itself. Prayerfully, they'll acknowledge they're wrong in the situation and maybe give some type of explanation for why they did whatever they did. Prayerfully. But I ain't gonna hold my breath for it. But there's a way, there are definite checks and balances that can be put in place if you're really searching for the truth. Now, if you're searching for foolishness, you're gonna go with whatever comes to you because you don't care. But if you are searching for the truth, then there are checks and balances in life that are put into place. And it's just as easy as you opening your own mouth and asking for yourself, not in a malicious way, not in a disrespectful way, not in a hateful way. You can go and speak to people. If you feel like it's some of your business and you just want to know, you can go and speak to people on your own and ask, look, is this true? Is this what happened? Why did you do it? This stuff right here, like, is that what really happened with this? There's a way to like combat all this foolishness. But nothing is going to be right until people start living right, until people start doing people right. Because once again, God don't bless mess. And it doesn't matter how much we sit there and pray, because if we are still partaking in it, if we still waddling in it, then it defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose. One thing that people have to remember with this is, number one, and I'm going to say this for the bloggers and the content creators and the YouTubers. When you are given a platform, there is a certain degree of leadership that you have chosen to take on. Now, what you decide to do with that is your business. you're going to be held accountable for that. But if you are lucky enough to be able to draw in some kind of a crowd and get people to listen, then you are responsible for whatever it is you put out there. Good, bad, or indifferent. Now, the thing is, I know that people get excited about money. When it comes to this stuff on here, let me tell you what that tells me, and I'm just going to be honest. All this foolishness over some money over here, this just tells me that you're not used to having it. And it's new to you. And whatever you got to do to get it, that's what you're going to do. But guess what? You won't keep it for long. Just as quick as you get it, you're going to lose it just as fast. You're going to spend it just as fast. And just as quick as those people came in your path and start, putting all this money up for this stuff, when the next best thing come along, then they're going to go and they're going to be giving their money to somebody else. Should you decide, and this is what people don't understand, should you decide to walk that righteous way, nobody said you got to be perfect, but if you decide to stand in your truth and actually be the leader that we all were called to be, then you're going to lose some folks. You're going to lose a lot of folks. But here's the reality of that. If somebody is willing to leave you alone or they don't want to fool with you because you decided to do the right thing, you didn't need to fool with them in the first place. They didn't care for you in the first place. They used you for entertainment purposes only. They use you for what they could get out of you. That's what manipulators do. They use you. The same thing that you were doing to them to get their money. They were doing the same thing. And just like for you, like if you don't have no use for them, you push them to the side. They're going to do the same thing to you because that's what you taught them to do. We learn by example. Do we not? So that's what you're teaching your people to do. So you should expect the same thing in return. Just like with your kids. You should expect the same thing in return. That's what you taught them. That's the culture that you created, right? So if everybody want to jump out here and be a leader, have at it. I can tell you over here on this page, I stepped back a long time ago. I told y'all I don't need to lead nobody but myself and them people that I'm responsible for, that I get paid for. Those are the only people that I got to worry about leading. Okay, hold on. My nieces, my nephews, my godchildren, all them. Like, that's it. I ain't no. No. If you want to get out in these streets and call yourself a leader, if you want to go and lead people, because understand it's easy to get people to follow you. Okay, ask Nature Boy. It's easy to get people to follow you. You can do that. You can find enough people, you can catch them in a vulnerable state or at the right time and get them to follow you and go along with whatever you got going on at that time. But are they going to be the right ones? Because see, I'm a firm believer that listen, you can take 200 people, 200 paying subscribers that just throwing you money left and right. Let me tell you something. You keep them 200. As a matter of fact, let me take that back. I'm going to give you 198. Give me the 2 that's real. You keep the rest of them. And y'all money go run off somewhere. Have fun. Give me those 2 that's about that business. Give me the 2 that's about that life. Give me the 2 that's about doing something. Give me 2 that's going to stand for something and fall for nothing. Give me those 2. And we can make something happen. Because you don't need 20 to get things done. Give me those 2. Give me those 2 that are God-fearing. I'll take those 2. Because those 2 that are God-fearing, not going to put their now life or their afterlife in jeopardy for some foolishness. Give me those 2. And keep the rest. Give me the 2 that don't have a dollar to their name. But they about this justice life. Give me the 2 that don't nobody want to deal with. Because they don't like the fact that they might think they stragglers because they won't go along with the crowd. Give me those 2. Because what you just gave me was some real independent thinkers. You gave me some people that are not afraid to use their minds. So whenever we get together and we do a think tank or we do a brainstorming session, then I will not be the only person in the room that is putting ideas out there. I won't be the only person in the room that's bold enough to stand up and say, no, we need to do this. Or no, this isn't right. Or maybe we should try this. Oh, Lord, give me those 2. Just those 2. The 2 that don't care about being in the front. They don't care about having their name up in lights. Give me those 2. Because those 2, we can all 3 stand together and nobody's worried about who the spotlight is shining on the hardest. Give me those 2. Give me those 2 that ain't going to try to look up what other people got going on. Because see, when you minding your own business, you ain't got time to worry about what other people got going on. Those are facts. When you minding your own business and got your own stuff going on, you don't have time and you don't care what somebody else has going on because you understand that whatever is meant for you is for you. And there ain't a devil in hell that can interfere with or intercede with whatever God has put in place for you. Give me those 2 and you keep that 198 and y'all go about your business. Give me those 2. Reality check. Give me those 2. I sat at work today and I had one of my coworkers come up to me and he said, well, they call me by my first name. He said, Sandy, you don't really, you kind of do your own little thing. You don't really want to go to lunch with us. You don't really want to do. Why am I going to do something I don't feel led to do? Why am I going to sit here and be, around these folks if I know that we're going to have a whole gossiping section, like the whole lunch break going to be a whole gossiping section and session, and that's not what I do. Why am I going to go and do that? Like, why am I going to go and try to put myself in a group or try to go somewhere where I got to try to be a part of something? I'm on Dr. Seuss time. You know what I'm talking about? Why are you trying to stand in when you were meant to stand out? Why are you trying to blend in? Like, I ain't got to be all up in y'all mix. Y'all go ahead and do whatever y'all gonna do. And if our paths cross because we have the same interests and the same things that we are working on, then God bless it. But I ain't gonna get caught up in that foolishness that y'all got going on. I'm about business. I'm trying to figure out when people are going to get that mindset to be about business. Because when you think no one is watching, everyone is watching. You get that? Integrity is defined as doing the right thing when no one is looking. Doing the right thing or standing for something even when you have to stand by yourself. I don't mind standing by myself. And that's what I chose to do in this situation. Understanding that standing by myself will result in me being doxxed. Understanding that standing by myself is going to have me accused of sleeping with people I ain't never been in the same room with. Understanding that standing by myself is going to have people accusing me of being a scammer. I don't know who I scam, but God bless. Understanding that standing by myself is going to have people accusing me of stealing. Lord, tell me what I stole. Understanding that standing by myself means that people gonna make up whatever they got to make up just to try to get their little, the attention off whatever they got doing wrong. Whatever they have going on, then usually that person that stands alone gonna become the butt of everything that they have going on. So when the spotlight comes on them, whenever that magnifying glass, whenever the microscope is on them and people start looking at them and start calling them out on stuff, then they're gonna look for you. They're gonna look for that one that's nah, come on, let's put something out on her real quick to get the pressure off us. Y'all don't see it? It happens all the time. Here, let's go talk about them real quick so we can get this pressure. Listen, they dumb. Here, we start talking about this one right here. Watch, they're gonna forget all about what we had going on. Watch this. That manipulation game is hard, y'all. It's strong. And oh my God, if you were really attentive, you could really sit back and see it. You can almost, like, it's so calculating. You can almost sit there and predict when it's going to happen. I know I for darn sure can. Let me see. I give it another week. Hold on. Let's see what's going to happen. Hold on. Give it a minute. Wait a minute. Bam, there it is. Like, it's coming. And it all depends on whether or not, you feed into it. Now, people laugh at me because I heard, like, there was some situations before where people were like, why Dr. Ryder said, get Dr. Ryder. And I was sitting up there and I was talking about flowers or something else and people were laughing about it because that's who I am. I recognize the BS when I see it. I see that buffet coming a mile away and you will not pull me into that mess because I recognize the game for what it is. And I recognize manipulation for what it is. And I refuse to let these folks on here manipulate me. No. Reality check. You got to stop letting people play you. Somebody accused me of mind manipulation one time. Actually, that is what I do. You work in psychology, you work in counseling, yeah, there's a bit of mind manipulation that goes on. But you use that for the good. Now, if you think coming up here and telling people to try to walk right and do the right things is a type of mind manipulation or something negative, there's something wrong with that picture. Whenever you're trying to do good, there will always be a little devil that come out. Trust. I'm surprised they ain't come out in this chat yet. I'm surprised they ain't come out in this chat yet. Them devils be waiting. You hear me? They be waiting. I tell you, but there's always that little devil that's just waiting to come jumping out and try to interrupt. Y'all know, steal, kill, and destroy. Steal, kill, and destroy. Take every little piece of goodness you got in you. They will try to take it away. They will try to take you out of character. Now, for some, it might be your character. You might just set it down for a little while, but they done pulled it on back out again. I'm just saying. But that's their job. That's their job, to pull you out of character. Oh, you say that you're this person. I'm going to show people that this is not the person that you are. Absolutely not. No, that's not you. You can't possibly be a nice person. You can't possibly believe in God. I mean, you talk that talk, but let me go and talk about you. I bet you'll say something, you'll change your tune. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I can't speak for y'all. I have mastered the art of coming up with new words to use against people that's trying to come at me crazy. I get real creative with it. I get real creative with it. No, I don't care like what that situation is, and you guys saw it for yourself. You got to witness it. For those of you who were here a year and a half ago when all that stuff took place, even though I felt fire, I literally felt fire in my chest. Even though I felt that, I still, you're not going to have me coming out here saying F you and F this and F your mama and F your daddy and F your dog and the puppies that he had. Like, you ain't going to never hear me coming out here saying no BS like that, because that's not what I'm made of. I saw your cats. Your kittens only got 3 legs. Just crazy stuff. Anything. And the people be, yeah. You said it. Tell them. Yeah. And then Sunday come around. I got to do this real quick. Hold up. Then Sunday come around. Hold on. I'm going to do it real quick because YouTube will get me real quick. Hold on. Then Sunday come around. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold up. Where my playlist at? Hold. Then Sunday come around, and this what you got. Let me turn that on down before YouTube get me. But that's the thing I'm saying. Like, no. Reality check, y'all. This little piece of hair getting in my darn, getting on my neck. This what we see. This is what happens. I have never seen this type of blasphemy. I have never seen this type of blasphemy in my life. Oh, F you. Who's next? And by the way, F your F that I said just a few minutes ago. Praise God. Like, y'all, we see this. We see this. I'm like, where they do that at? Saturday night, I'm going to kill this one. They get straight Kevin Hart out in these streets. You know what I'm talking about? One gun, one bullet, ready to go night. Like, they go all the way out with that and then hit straight John P. Key on Sunday. I'm like, y'all know God saw that, right? The YouTube people might not have caught in the streets, but y'all know God saw that, right? Y'all know, like, all knowing, duh. He saw that, right? All seeing, you know what I mean? Like, he's there all the time, we ain't see him, but the man saw the footprints in the sand because he was there, even though he ain't see. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He saw you. He saw you. You forgot to close the curtains last night. He saw you. I promise you. These other people didn't see it, but he saw you. We can't. Man, listen. I encourage everyone today. I encourage people. You don't have to be perfect. But in that walk, you at least try to strive for perfection. You know what I'm talking about? You want to put forth a concerted effort. You know what I mean? You got to put forth some. No. You got to put forth some kind of something. You got to act like you got some kind of act right about yourself. Especially when you're going around trying to lead people. I'm just saying. I just saw her comment. I would curse you out and say hallelujah in a minute, but I'm getting professional help. Ah, that's my aunt. My aunt, she would curse you out in a minute. But y'all see what I'm saying? People, this let me make sure I say this right here too. Cause I don't want nobody saying, well, she's act like that. Look, just because you curse that don't mean that you not a Christian. Let me just say that now. Cause I done met some cursing Christians. Yes, sir. They will light you up. I'm just saying. But just treating people right. Blasphemy, hold on. I like pulling up the definitions. I got you. Here we go. Untold truth to come. I got you right here. I was told that I might need to share what blasphemy means when I say that that's, some of the behaviors are just blasphemy. The act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things, profane talk. The act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things, profane talk. Just in case y'all ask for this one, let me give it to you real quick. There you go, right there. Involving or committing sacrilege. Y'all better quit playing. Hold up. Well, you have it down here too, like similar words: profane, blasphemous. I ain't gonna even do that because I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sinful, irreverent, irreligious. Having or showing a lack of proper respect for a sacred person or place. And that's what I'm saying. Going and doing all this mess and then attaching, that on the end of it. Like that erases everything that has been done. So I mastered cursology all A's. For me not to go, like, I mastered the art. We made up words instead of cursing. Like, we knew what the curse word was going to be, but we made up a word for the curse word because we knew we couldn't say it. Like, people would say, I think I told y'all this before, they'd be like, son of a B. Ours was son of a biscuit eater. Like, that's what our stuff was. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, how people use different curse words. We're so diabetic. Like, that was our curse word. Like, we made words mean something. So, yeah. Right, hamburger. Yeah, we threw that stuff out there. And, we knew what we meant. Other people may not have known what we meant, but they heard it enough. They knew what we were saying. So, speaking irreverent about God or sacredness. Thank you, stand up. Stand up, be kind of hey. I don't know if I spoke before. But yeah, so I think that's my thing. And let me be clear on this. Let me be absolutely clear on this. I spoke about the stuff that happened earlier. I'm not saying that when it comes to the person that was involved in that, I'm not saying I don't know what anybody's spiritual relationship is. So when I talk about this stuff with the stuff with God and spirituality and all that stuff, I'm speaking as a whole because you see people do it a lot. You see them do it a lot, and you'll hear people, I know I did such and such, but just, and it's like, again, you lead by example. And at the end of the day, I know for me, I always think about, and I'm going to get serious with y'all for a minute. I always think about what I want my legacy to be. And one of the things that I used to talk to I got to make sure I say this. That I used to talk to offenders about is when you die, what do you want your legacy to be? So one of the activities that I do with them is I get them to write out their own obituaries. Now, some people are spooked by it. They are absolutely spooked by it. That why you got us doing this crazy stuff? Why this stuff? Man, don't nobody want to think about that. Well, you should think about it because it's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us at some point. Like every day that we live is a day closer that we are to death. Those are facts. So I get them to write out, if you were getting up there and you were going to be the person speaking on you, what are you going to say? And I have them write it out. And for some of them, it's a hard truth. It's a very hard truth for them because when they start looking back, they really have to do some self-reflection. And when they start looking back over their lives and things that they've done in their lives, then it's a little scary for them. A lot of things they're not proud of. And that's why I asked them at the end of the day, what do you want your legacy to be? Now, I want y'all to see something. Just for me switching gears, switching that conversation, we lost about 5 people. That's how those things work. That's how God works. What do you want your legacy to be at the end of the day? When you leave here, what are people going to say about you? We can go and write anything. Y'all know people get up at the funeral and they'll make it sound like the person was like the best thing since sliced bread. No, you know you. You write this down. What do you want your legacy to be? When you look back all over all the things in your life, are you proud of how you lived? Is your story one that you would want told? Is this what you want your legacy to be? At the end of the day, is this what you want your legacy to be? That's Doc Riders right there, otherwise known as Sandy, otherwise known as Sherelle, otherwise known as Kat. She was all right. She was all right, you know. She didn't like dogs or cats. She wouldn't give me nothing. I remember one time I asked her for a glass of water. She told me she wouldn't give me nothing. It wouldn't even give me a piece of spit if I needed it. She was known for giving people the business now. She whatever, you know, she felt she was gonna tell you that. She didn't care how you took it, what you did with it. She didn't care if she hurt your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your pet frog, the pet rat. I ain't gonna even say pet mouse. Y'all got pet rats. She didn't care. Like, you really got to think about, and I'm being facetious with this, but what do you want your legacy to be? Because at the end of the day, it's not even about a resume. It's about what you want your legacy to be. Because the stuff that we're putting on here, and thank God we have the power, we have the ability to delete. We can delete videos. Just like I told y'all, that video with the doxing and all the stuff that actually happened that day, I took that video down. It wasn't a video I was proud of. It's a lot of videos that I took down. Some of them I deleted. Some of them I just took down because they weren't videos that I was proud of. It's not that I did something wrong. I was just ashamed that I was even involved or in the company of that. Like, it's just an embarrassment. And I'm just being honest. It's really an embarrassment. So with some of the things, like I said, there's always people would say stuff like, well, she took her video down and that's what I was telling people before. I got the right to take down whatever I want to take down, because at the end of the day, I actually review my stuff. I review it. And if it's something, see, that's another thing too. And let me say this real quick. Some people are just about being in one particular sector. I don't want my channel to be for one particular group. My channel is open to the public. I try to welcome everybody and make everybody feel comfortable when they come over here. I don't just want this one particular group tuning in. So if I see something that may be offensive to another group of people, I ain't talking about people that's taking teams or, like, that's not what I'm talking about. But just if I see something that's offensive to another group of people that may have come out, not necessarily something that I said, I'm going to take it out. If it's a whole video, like when the stuff is going on with me and DR, I took that stuff. I didn't delete it, but I took it down. I made whatever point that I needed to make, and I went on about my business because there was no need to sit there and dwell in it. Like, we both know the truth. I'm gonna go ahead about my business. And still, when people are coming to the channel, they're like, okay, what is this channel about? What is this mess? I understand that people do that because that's what I do when I go to other people's channels. And that's why it behooves us to go and step out sometimes and look at what other people have going on. We get so caught up and so engulfed in all the stuff that's going on over here that we don't realize that life is moving and the world is still turning outside of all of this. And if we actually stepped outside of the box and looked at what other people had going on, especially for people that are content creators, it'll actually show us some things that we can improve, some things that we might need to change, some things that we might need to add to what we have going on. The way we may need to handle some stuff that's going on in our chat. Like, it's a lot of stuff that we could possibly be looking at, even if you're not a content creator and you're just a subscriber and you're observing. Sometimes it's good to observe. I am a master at observing. That's what I do. I sit back and observe. I will look at you and but I'm observing what's going on. Them eyes be going, but they just I'm observing. Sometimes it takes those things, and for us as a people, we get so complacent. And the stuff that we're in, the foolishness, we get so complacent sitting in that foolishness that when we have an opportunity to get out of it and do something different, a lot of times we don't take advantage of that opportunity. We just choose to sit there and dwell in that foolishness when we have an out. Now, with the person that did doxing, that's where I give her props at with me. She started turning things around. It didn't necessarily change what happened between us. Hold on. Texas, I'd be in the trees hanging, child. Like, I got me a little swing in the trees. You heard me? I'd be in everybody's chat. I just don't say nothing. I'd be in everybody's chat and I go on about my business. But it's just we can do better. We can do better. We really can. Really can. And that's what I was saying before. I just challenge, everybody else. This is what I was going to say about subscribers really quick. Even if you're a subscriber, if you go and just observe the chats of other people, you'll see a lot of this foolishness going on. That's what I was looking at today and yesterday. I went to some people outside of all of this. And I was just looking, and there's a lot of the foolishness and boufale going on in other people's chats too. I mean, it runs rampant. But when you're on the outside looking in, it looks a lot different. And when you see it, it kind of lets you see, like, y'all know this how people looking, at folks over here. Like this is what we look like. Like, this is what we sound like. Sometimes you got to step outside of the box and see what's going on in other places. That's where you're doing your research at. And sometimes that'll help you have that moment of epiphany. You know what I'm saying? That light bulb moment, that aha, like, oh, that's how we look. Sometimes it takes doing that for people to really get a feel or to get an honest look at what their behaviors may look like. Some people don't care what their behaviors look like, but at the end of the day, I ask you again, what do you want your legacy to be? This was my reality check. If you guys got anything out of it, put a 1 in the chat for me really quick before I get my rump on up out of here. That's another one of our words instead of that ASS word. Get your rump or your gluteus. That's usually my word, your gluteus. If you got anything out of it, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't get anything out of it, put a 2. I'm okay with that. I take all forms of criticism, constructive criticism. If you just being mean, I'll take your little 2 and do whatever. Y'all, I'm all about numbers, child. I do research. So I go, okay, I had 5 1s and 22s. And I go, okay, let me see what I probably should have. Let me see where I lost them at. Let me see what part. I had to go and look at them analytics and see what YouTube said. Where you lost them at, girl? Hallelujah. But oh, thank y'all. I would be missing everything. My meds knock me out. Child, mine do too. That's what I'm going to take right now. There go them tools. Them some old devil tools right there. Y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I really hope y'all got something out of it. Again, this was not me trying to really not trying to rehash something, but I just feel like at some point the truth always has to come out, and there has to be some reality brought to the situation, because everything is a teaching moment. There is a lesson in everything, and we have to know that when we do wrong, especially when we do somebody else wrong, that stuff always comes back. I mean, we hope that it never comes back up, but that stuff always comes back, and hopefully we take a moment to learn from it. At the same token, we have to be I'm going to say quick. We have to stop being quick to judge. I see the minute somebody types something, the minute somebody says something that people have already formed an opinion about. The minute somebody says something about you, people have already formed an opinion about them. Like I said, I had somebody calling me a scam. I'm like, I actually got tickled. I'm like, scam what? I couldn't even get mad. I'm like, scam what? Did you mean scan? Like I scanned my phone and you put an M instead of an N? Did you mean to say scam or did you mean to say scan? I'm just trying to check it for a friend. I want to make sure I got it right. Because it's those things people... Man, no, I care about you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But thank you for the warning. But yeah, it's just taking the time to slow down and really thinking about it. Number one, don't do something to somebody else that you wouldn't want them doing to you. That's like rule number one. It actually doing to others that you would have them doing to you. I mean, it is what it is. Like I stand by that. And I stand by that. I hope other people will take that into account instead of just saying it. Like you need to live it, you need to breathe it, you need to walk in that. Because at the end of the day, I know that a lot of things have happened to the person that I had mentioned, and I was like, man, God, I hate that that's happening. Like I hated it for her. And then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's like God, like coming back and like dropping some of that stuff there. Like, would you consider that to be karma? I don't know, but I still don't wish bad on anybody, even though they may have done me wrong. And that's something I thank God for. Like, honestly, I don't wish bad on anybody. And I would hope that some people would get to the place where they start wishing bad on other people, particularly with this whole situation that we have going on. I said it before and I'll say it again. The stuff that I see every day, you have to remember that you never know what kind of situation you may find yourself in. You could walk the perfect walk and think that you just the perfect Patty. And life has a way of changing. Life has a way of showing you, that it's real. Whether it be through you or through somebody else. So I think it's important, it's imperative actually that we really sit back and before we go and say this needs to happen to this person or that needs to happen, like really trying to put the worst on somebody. Like you really need to think about that situation. And again, I said this on a couple lives before, but would you want grace and mercy if you found yourself in a situation? So I'm looking at that all the way around. If you feel like somebody did something to you, do you keep coming after them until it feels good to you? Because at the end of the day, everything is like it's a temporary thing. You may feel good for the moment. But at the end of the day, I mean, that thrill is gone. I mean, now what? The situation, whatever happened, it still happened. Like, you didn't change what happened. Yeah, you might have gotten back at them, but what you actually did was made yourself look crazy. Like, that's the stuff that I think about. Like, I'm gonna come after you with the vengeance and go and do all this stuff. Now I'm sitting up here and I'm stepping outside of myself and I'm contradicting everything that I ever said to try to come after you, just so I can get some likes or get a couple clicks or get a couple people to follow me that don't give 2 cents about me. They just care about the drama of it all. And that's, at the end of the day, nah, I'm not about that life. So just something to think about at the end of the day. And I know this may be going over some people's heads and they like, girl, whatever. But I mean, you know, definitely need more compassion in the world today for one another. We're living in some very different times these days. Never seen so much hatred and negative energy in any other era. I agree. Like, again, you have came at the right time to rebalance and calm the situations we all see. I'm trying, but like I said, I'm not without fault. Because like I said, I got upset. I mean, I'm human. It is what it is. But I made sure that I controlled the way that I responded to it. Because at the end of the day, I got to answer for me. I've had people that wanted me to answer for other people, and they got upset because I would not answer for other people. And I'm like, I can't answer for what another grown person. No, she's not on timeout. No, we're not putting her on timeout. I can't answer for what another person does, but I can definitely answer for what I do and how I respond to stuff. And just at the end of it's just a lot of stuff. People like, why aren't you coming at him? Why aren't you coming? Because I don't have to. I don't have to. Like, I gotta protect the boy. My protector is fire. You hear what I'm saying? My protector is fire. When I tell y'all he like that, he is like that. You heard me? You heard me? My man is like that, okay? He is like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about? He like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's my reality. My reality of it all. They are crazy. I gotta try not to look at the checks. I'm be sitting up here laughing at them. But that's what we have, y'all. That's what we have. I like the clown, I like the joke and all that stuff. But I'm sitting up here and I'm like, yo, let me throw a little something up in here real quick, see if we can. Whew, Jesus, because it gets real up in these streets, child. And I tell you what, one thing y'all ain't gonna have me doing is going to hell behind YouTube. You hear me? I am not walking up and be outside the pearly gates and they be like, what you want? I'm like, I'm trying to get in. And they be like, nah. Remember when you went after that woman on YouTube? You said you forgave her, but then you went and did, and you went after her, you talked about a dog, you talked about a cat. Nah, I ain't trying to have them type of problems. Some people ain't worried about afterlife. I'm worried about afterlife. I ain't trying to have them type of problems. So, yeah, I ain't trying to have them type of problems. You hear me? No ma'am, no Sam, no ham. We ain't having no problems. No. So I don't want to get the turn away. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the golden ticket. You hear me? I'm trying to walk up in there like I'm Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I want a warm welcome. I ain't trying to deal with all this other buffalo. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, Got to be more careful. They gonna be ready to kick me out. I try to tell you. Bye. Got to be more careful. Oh Lord, I don't know. Y'all, I'm serious. I'm playing, but I'm serious. So anyway, that is the reality check that I have for you guys today. You have to be true to yourself. It's not even about being true to other people. You know what I mean? It's about being true to yourself. If you are true to yourself, then you have no other choice but to be true to other people. When you're true to yourself, then you won't allow yourself to put anything out there that's a misrepresentation of who you are. If you are true to yourself, then again, you won't have time to indulge in all of the extra foolishness because you recognize what your purpose is. And if you haven't recognized what your purpose is, and you're at least searching for that purpose, and you have some type of goals in mind, and those goals don't include foolishness. So with that being said, I thank y'all for kicking it with me tonight. I have been on here for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yes. So this is my live for the whole week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all them days. Like that, that's the live. I'm making up for all them days. All them days. Okay, I got them all. So thank y'all for that. Shout out to the certified dimes that are in here. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to the non-subscribers. Shout out to these crazy folks that are up in this chat cutting up. Shout out to y'all. And with that being said, y'all, I wish everybody peace and blessings. I do too. I love to laugh too. Yeah, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I would like to go on record that I try not to hurt people, but if I have done anything to hurt or offend anybody, Lord, please accept my sincerest apologies. Because Lord, that was not my intention. But if I did, hey, I put my big girl panties on and say I apologize. Shoot me, hit me a inbox, hit me email, do something, let me know so I can try to correct whatever I did. Because the child, I ain't trying to have them type of problems. Later on down the road. Laughter is good for the soul. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Before I go, hold that thought. Before I go, if you didn't get anything out of this message tonight, Lord knows I hope you did. I gave y'all almost 2.5 hours. But if you didn't get anything out of this message tonight, I hope you got this one thing. Mind your business. Okay? It don't cost you a dime. You can mind your business for free $99. It don't cost you a dime. I promise you it don't cost you a dime. Mind your business. Be about your business. And go about your business. Let me see if I can get those again. Mind your business. Hold on. Be about your business. Go about your business and mind your business. That's what we're doing tonight. And on that note, guys, I am up out of here. Hope you guys. I'm cutting potatoes with scissors. Can't take y'all nowhere. I tell you what, we can't take y'all nowhere. Let me get off here. That is too funny. Oh, Lord. I actually feel a bit of relief getting that off my, like, right there, because that was yeah, that thing my brother hurt me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But let me get on up out of here, y'all, real quick. It's hard to mind my own business. Oh, Lord. We're gonna have a counseling session on here. I'm gonna do a video. I did one on TikTok. I'm gonna do one on YouTube about how to mind your own business. It's gonna get 3 likes, but I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, y'all have a good night. I'm gone. I ain't fooling with y'all no more. Bye.